5-second board is shown. Red lights go on now. They shine brightly. They go out, and away we go. Start the second race of the weekend for the Raceparts Historic 750 Formula Series. Good start by John Village from pole position. A good start by Jerry Fincham from a few rows further back in the number 88 car. He's made up some ground. Who's going to be second turning into Redgate Corner? It looks like it's going to be Trevor Slatter that is there, ahead of Jörg Schneider. And then Ian Grant in fourth place in the Race Kits Merlin as they turn their way through Redgate and Hollywood for the first time, but John Village already scampering away in the lead of this race. It is Slatter in second, Schneider third, Grant in fourth, and I think that's the time of Graham Wilson, number 7, in fifth, and he's challenging Grant going down into the old hairpin. He's gone through to P4, and Grant therefore goes down to 5th place in the Merlin.
Tim Brooke has made significant progress from the back of the grid in the car that Timothy Roebuck successfully took to 3rd position this morning, already this afternoon I guess it was, wasn't it, for these cars. So he is up into the top 10 already and trying to go past the V of Mark Lawton by the looks of things, and has still trying to do that, trying to draw up alongside to go ahead, which he does now. So he's the first of the Austin 7s already. 18, there he is. Then Tim Brooke, who I don't think has driven this car before, but seems to be going pretty well in it. He's gained a lot of positions in half a lap.
Yeah, so down the straight they come, the Starkey Straight, past the exhibition building into the left-hander at Fogarty's, left and right flick. It looks like the time, 3B, is back behind the Race Kits Merlin once again. Number 20. As they come down, and the car just in behind them as well is David Lewis in the Jeffrey. He had it off, didn't he, in the first race, and had to come back from that. There's the number 18 car, the supercharged Austin 7, and there you can see the V as well. Mark Lawson was a retirement from the first race in the Cotswold Garages CGV, back out in this one. So we come towards the end of the first lap. John Village it is that has the advantage over the rest, and he has a decent lead already over Trevor Slatter in second, Jörg Schneider in third. The gap from first to second, 2.2 seconds, and it's a similar gap between Slatter and Schneider in third, with about 5 seconds between Schneider in third and Graham Wilson in fourth position, because he has just got back ahead of Ian Grant, and now David Lewis in the Jeffrey is right with them as well. So a nice little scrap going on here for 4th, 5th and 6th.
In the earlier race, Trevor Slatter was a bit quicker than Jörg Schneider, but then had a problem towards the end where he dropped to 4th. So now he seems to have more pace early on in this one. But as Ian suggested, we're looking at about a 4th position between Graham Wilson, Ian Grant and David Lewis. David Lewis, as you say, had a decent start to this race. Changed out of the old hairpin for P4 as Ian Grant in the Race Kits Merlin goes through. And ahead of the time 3B of Graham Wilson, who might have also lost out to the Jeffrey of David Lewis there in the background. Yeah, he has lost 2 positions, Graham Wilson, and they've both been caught by Tim Roebuck. It's showing us Tim Roebuck again on our timing screen. So is it he, or is it who we thought was going to do this second race, Tim Brooke?
Yeah, not 100% sure on that one.
Ooh.
Oh, off the road has gone the number 6 car. That's Richard Verheyden, and that's well dug into the
buried up to your Axel's quote that's used quite a lot. I think that's probably true on this occasion.
Yeah, literally the case, I think. So that's not going to come out very easily, I'm afraid.
Austin 7s are quite good at trials and things like that. It's unusual to be buried in the gravel like that, but they're not the heaviest of cars, so they might be able to be lived. Quite spectacular shot there as the plane takes off from East Midlands Airport and shadows over this battle of 4th position where David Lewis goes through. Now I thought I just saw yellow flags and safety car boards at the previous marshal post, and
I don't think you were wrong, were you, Josh? There it is, the yellow flashing sign, and so the safety car has picked up the leader, John Village. And questions to when that came out, and any changes of position there might have been. But top 3 then picked up: John Village, Trevor Slatter, Jörg Schneider.
That's at the bottom of the old hairpin, isn't it? Sort of driver's left. So that's I'm not quite sure how that may have happened in an Austin 7. Where it could have been a little bit sketchy, or was Richard Verheyden just trying to pull off? Or are they tyre marks?
Yeah, do they belong to him?
There's a lot of tyre marks down there. There's been, over the course of the season, quite a few incidents at the old hairpin. But if it was an incident, I can't say that that would be very much fun in Austin 7. That would have been pretty scary. But if he just pulled off less of a drama.
So, second lap completed by John Village. The best lap of the race, 2:06.97 before the safety car came out, and it's a 2:05.49 in the earlier race.
It's gone back to being Tim Brooks. So it is Tim Brooke, who's had a really good start to this race. Someone that I don't think we've seen race these cars before. And presumably didn't qualify it as he didn't get at the time. But anyway, and now without too much difficulty, because the live snatch vehicle is probably used to cars that weigh a lot more than an Austin 7, so it's not particularly difficult to get the car moving again.
I thought so.
Maybe just the one lap behind the safety car.
Yeah, there's an exit point fairly close by, I think, where they can remove that too. And hopefully we won't have too much running behind the safety car in this Raceparts historic 750 Formula Series race.
It's very rare to have a safety car in one of these races. I'm not sure if I've seen one before, but
I think we've had one or two, but not a lot down the years. This season, where have we been to? We've been to Croft, Brands Hatch, Mallory Park, Cadwell, Snetterton, and concluding the season here at Donington. So 6 events during the course of the year for the historic 750 Formula Series, and it's important that the 750 Motor Club continues with this. It's the link to the heritage of the club. We were talking earlier on about the Austin 7 being the basis for the 750 Motor Club back in the late 1930s, and 750 Formula, the first championship run by the club, first category that became established in 1949, an older championship even than Formula 1, the World Drivers' Championship. And so cars from Austin 7 and 750 Formula, historic cars from 750 Formula, both welcome here. And similar cars as well, like the V. We sometimes have the Tim Sage Mallock. We've had 500cc Formula 3 cars as well. So other cars with a similar performance and similar pace also welcome to compete with 750 Motor Club, historic 750 Formula Series from time to time. And it's certainly one of the more affordable ways to go historic racing. It's had a boon in recent seasons thanks to the hard work of Linton Thruston and others in encouraging more drivers out. A few cars have been brought back into racing conditions. Some new cars even have been built as well to historic regulations, which is allowed within the series. And it's been very well supported in recent years. Safety car lights are still on. That incident not quite cleared in time, I don't think. So I think we may get one more lap, unfortunately, behind the safety car here. Yeah, we're going to have that. So just couldn't quite get that to clear of the circuit in time, I don't think. So I think this will be the last lap behind the safety car, though, Josh, and then we'll get probably another couple of laps of racing in.
Something you wouldn't have seen in period in with these cars, is it? A safety car?
Absolutely not.
I'm not sure when safety cars quite come in the UK, but it wasn't there before the 1970s anyway.
And 750 Motor Club were relatively late in adopting them in all of their races, of course, compared to some other organising clubs. Probably saw more red flags in 750 Motor Club races, with the aim being to restart the race rather than deal with incidents behind the safety car. But which, a relatively recent innovation, really. That's probably the late 1990s that came in as a more routine thing that you would see on circuits around the UK. So John Village, who has done a lot of the winning this season, hasn't he? And a win earlier on today as well. He won the first 4 races at Croft and at Brands Hatch. He's also had victories at Mallory and at Snetterton. So the only circuit where he didn't get a win was at Cadwell. Was he at Cadwell?
That's when he was at the British Grand Prix,
right, yeah,
doing BRDC duties.
Yeah, so
he's won every scratch race he's taken place in, but hasn't won at the handicaps, I don't think, this year.
No, I think he did win one of those last year, didn't he, if I remember rightly as well.
This year the handicaps at Cadwell was won by Simon Gallen, and at Snetterton by Peter Marsh. I'm sure we'll have some handicap races back next season as well.
Yeah, they're always something a little bit different, aren't they? Theory being that all of the drivers will cross the finish line at exactly the same moment if the handicapper has done their jobs right, but it's always intriguing to see how the handicap unwinds. And speaking of handicap, of course, that's a big feature of the Burkitt 6-hour relay race, where there is a prize for the scratch race winning team, of course, but the more significant prizes are for handicap, which is always intriguing to see how that pans out during the course of the 6-hour race.
There's been a few interesting articles on the 750 Mile Club website recently about famous people that have competed in the Burkitt Relay, and people you might not have thought of, particularly in the 60s and 70s. Even Le Mans cars, period cars racing in the Burkitt Relay, which is, I'm sure, something that wouldn't happen anymore. But it's fascinating history of that event, and still going very strong with full grids and a massive variety of cars, bigger variety than you'll see in any other motor race.
Yeah, and it's only 5 weeks away, this year's running, so still time to get an entry in. I think there's a few spots still available for teams that have yet to place their entry for the 2023 running of the Holly Burkitt 6-hour relay race. Meanwhile, here at Donington Park, safety car lights are off, so the race is going to get back underway, and I think we will have time for 2 more laps of racing once they cross the line. So it's number 29 John Village that leads the way, number 72 Trevor Slatter is in second place, number 65 Jörg Schneider is third, 20 Ian Grant is fourth, 99 David Lewis is fifth, and number 7 Graham Wilson is sixth. The safety car poles in, Josh, and the green flag is waved.
In all of John Village's experience, I wonder if he's actually done a safety car restart before as the leader. As we said, very rare to have it in this category. Anyway, he did it pretty well, as you'd expect from John Village, the 1979 European Formula Ford champion, British champion in 81 as well, and obviously had lots of championship successes as a team boss since then. So everybody's got away without problem. I don't think we lost anyone in that safety car period either, did we? I was a little bit concerned having the cars running behind the safety car slowly, whether that might be a problem, but I don't think it was. For 4th position, Ian Grant is under pressure from David Lewis, who's having a much better race this time in the Jeffrey, and that car then accelerates its way up the hill, challenging Ian Grant. See the drive shaft of that car immediately behind the driver's seat. Tim Brooks up to 6th. He's got ahead of Graham Wilson, and will be chasing these cars ahead down. See how close Tim Brooks can get to Tim Roebuck's lap times, the regular driver of that car.
Obviously leading the supercharged Austin 7 class because the only car in it. In the Austin 7s, Charlie Plain Jones is leading that from Nick Hayward-Cook and John Moss. The car that won the early race, now being driven by Mike Pickup, is in 4th position within that class. We are watching number 20, Ian Grant, who's in 4th position, make his way through the Fogarty S's and down to the Melbourne Hairpin for the penultimate time. A battle on here for second place now. Jörg Schneider is alongside Trevor Slatter under braking for the Melbourne Hairpin. Well, maybe not quite. It might have been a bit of an optical illusion, but Slatter certainly runs wide there, and Schneider again has another go at getting alongside on the run up the hill towards Goddard, but again the Centaur just about holding on from the number 65 Arthur of Jörg Schneider, who was second in the earlier race. So as they go on to the final lap then, it's John Village, 1 point something, no, a bit more than that, seconds ahead of the rest of them, 5.4 in fact seconds ahead of Trevor Slatter, with 4/10 between these two, and now Schneider having another look up the inside of Slatter into Redgate Corner, but he couldn't make that work.
Tim Brooke is only half a second off of Tim Roebuck lap time, so that is impressive in a car we think he's racing for the first time, and that's only his first proper full racing lap because of the safety car period. But this battle for second is very good between Trevor Slatter and Jörg Schneider. Slatter has had a second place so far this season, which came way back at Croft at the beginning of the year, so that's been his only podium, I think, where Jörg Schneider has had a couple, I think, on his way through the year, which came at Cadwell Park and at Mannery Park before that. Battle for 4th, 5th and 6th continues, with Tim Brooke getting closer to David Lewis and Ian Grant. in that supercharged Austin 7 Special car, I think originally built by John Miles, the latest Grand Prix driver.
Yeah, John, who was a vice president of the 750 Motors Club for many years, I say Lotus Grand Prix driver, extremely knowledgeable car setup specialist as well, even briefly Top Gear presenter in the early iteration of the programme as well. He appeared on that. If you look for the videos on YouTube, you'll find that. So down to the hairpin they go for the final time then, and Schneider's got his way ahead of Trevor Slatter. Is he going to keep it all the way to the line? John Village in that white Village V2, number 29 though, he's turning his way through the left hand of it, Goddard for the final time, so looking good for yet another scratch race victory this season. He takes the checkered flag now, and second, it is going to go the way of Jörg Schneider again, isn't it? So Jörg Schneider takes second place for the second time today. Third place to go to Trevor Slatter, that's one place better than early one. Fourth place is number 20 Ian Grant. Fifth is the number 99 car of David Lewis. In sixth place is number 18, which is Tim Brooke. Seventh goes to number 7 Graham Wilson. Eighth to number 81 in the end, so Luigi Bayliss getting the place away from Joey Fincham on the final lap. Bayliss is ninth, and then Ben Bolt, number 13, rounds out the top 10 in the Centaur, and then we wait to see who's going to come through to win Class A. Well, it's not going to be Mike Pickup. He's fourth in that number 69 car at the moment. That was the car that won the class in the earlier race. The V is coming through of Mark Lawton, and Charlie Plain Jones just jinks around it at the last moment and comes through to take victory in Class A, with Nick Hayward-Cook in second place, and third place is going to go the way of John Moss.
Big shrug of the shoulders from Mark Lawton, as his car seemingly died in a similar place it did earlier, which was a bit of a shock, I think, for Charlie. Thankfully, that was any disaster there was averted pretty rapidly. But yeah, that's good for Charlie Plain Jones. His first win in Class A since Mallory Park in June, so that was some time ago. So congratulations to Charlie Plain Jones. But here's the results of the final Raceparts Historic 750 Formula race of the season.
Yeah, and it was John Village, as he had done on so many occasions this year, that took the win in car number 29. He completed the 6 laps that we had in the 15-minute race there. Second was number 65, Jörg Schneider, 5.28 seconds behind the winner. In third place was number 72, Trevor Slatter. Fourth to number 20, Ian Grant. In fifth place, number 99, David Lewis. And running out the top 6 was number 18, Tim Brooke, who was the winner and sole finisher in the Supercharged Austin 7 class. In seventh place, it was number 7, Graham Wilson. Eighth, number 81, Luigi Bayliss. Ninth was number 88, Joey Fincham. And rounding out the top 10 was number 13, Ben Bolt. Charlie Plain Jones in number 22 won Class A from 66, Dick Hayward-Cook, and 85, John Moss. And a couple more finishers on the next page, being Mike Pickup and Tim Mile, with Richard Verheyden ending his race in the gravel trap at the Old Hairpin, which brought about a safety car period in the middle of that race. And Historic 750 Formula will, of course, be back in 2024. We will very much look forward to some more cracking races from the oldest cars that race with the 750 Motor Club on a regular basis. And we just have one more race to come this evening. This is going to be for the BMW Car Club Racing Championship. We will be seeing those on track in just a minute after we've heard from Andy McEwen. We'll be heading down to the pit lane in a moment. In the meantime, just a quick chance while we've got it to say many thanks to all of the marshals here at Donington Park this weekend for all of the sterling work that they have done to keep us more or less on time. We're perhaps 20 minutes or so behind where we expected to be today, but many thanks for all the marshals for their patience in changeable weather conditions as well. Obviously we couldn't have motorsport without them, so we really are indebted to each and every one of you. And a reminder that the 750 Motor Club next in action on October the 7th. That's going to be at Alton Park. More championships having their final rounds then before the finals weekend and the Burkitt Relay at the end of October. But let's head downstairs now. Andy McEwen is in the pit lane, and he is going to have another chat with our Historic 750 Formula race winner.
Yeah, exactly right. Thank you, Ian. We've got our top 3 right behind us. Good little battle that for second place in the closing stages. All of it, though, going on several seconds behind John Village, who comes home victorious for the second time today. Good day's work.
Thank you very much. Bit of a ball behind the old safety car, but never mind. These things have to happen, don't they?
It meant you got the chance to execute a safety car restart from the lead, though, something you don't get the opportunity to do that often.
Well, I've not, to be honest, I don't think I've had a safety car in the 750 before. Oh, we did at Brands in practice, but not in the race.
Okay. Actually, the guys upstairs were trying to work out the last time we had a safety car. It's been a while, I think, but you absolutely nailed the restarts. That's good news.
Yeah. Well, you have to, don't you?
Are you back now? You've not got another round now this season, have you?
We've
So,
done for the year.
yeah, so we're going to see more of you next season?
I'd have thought so, if they allow me.
I think they probably will. Congratulations, John, on the double race victory. Now, Jörg Schneider comes home in second place again, but that time you had a bit of a fight on your hands. Did you enjoy that?
I did. I knew it's very difficult with Trevor in front of me. We had a couple of fights in the past years, and he's quite difficult to overtake, but finally it happened. And I think it's been a last lap, second last lap, but it's been a very short race after the safety.
Yeah, which is a shame, actually, because that would have been a race-long battle, I think. But talk us through the move that you did make there at the end to get that second place.
I tried it at the inside, Melbourne loop. I tried it at the inside, but then I felt I'm getting out of the bend a bit quicker, and finally, where did I overtake you? Right into Pat. I don't even remember. I have to see. I have to check my onboard camera so I can tell you.
It was a great race to watch, though, and you've got to be happy. 2 second places, a good day.
Oh, definitely. Very good day. Very good end of the season.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Jörg, on the 2 second places. And Trevor, great to have you on the podium at last. One place better than this morning.
Yeah, much better than this morning. Yes, it's been a tricky year. Hi, James. I've had a lot of engine problems, and this has been great to finish the year on a fourth and a third. Yeah, really pleased. But Jörg is a fearsome competitor and takes no prisoners. Yeah, so I knew he'd be there. I knew he'd try and get me. Yeah, but yeah, excellent race and really good fun.
And a good grid out this weekend as well. I know you do a lot of work behind the scenes to try and help with that. You must be happy to see that boom in entries these days.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Yeah, to the racing and to the formula itself. You know, the club needs large grids, and we do everything we can to improve the grids. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on the podium, and good to catch up with Trevor Slatter once again. Right then, the clouds starting to appear overhead. The wind is picking up. Hopefully, we can get our final race of the weekend out of the way before any rain arrives once more. It's the BMWs heading back out on track to round out what has been a spectacular weekend of racing here at Donington.